Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes life has a way of reminding us that we don't always have to show up to be recognized. There's power in your presence, but there's even more power in your absence. We get so caught up in proving ourselves to others, whether it's at work, in our relationships, or even in our friendships, that we begin to tie our sense of worth to how other people see us. And that's dangerous because the moment you do that, you give them control over your value. It's in the quiet moments when you step back that people start to realize the depth of your value. We live in a world where we're constantly seeking approval, craving recognition, or hoping for validation from others. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want you to let them miss you. When you step back, when you let people miss you, you reclaim that energy and redirect it towards your own development. You were born with value. It's not something you have to earn, not something someone else can give to you. It was stitched into the very fabric of your being the moment you took your first breath. But here's the truth, many of us forget that. Let me tell you something, no one can determine your worth but you. No one. Not your boss, not your partner, not even your closest friend. Your worth is not measured by how much you give to others or how well you meet their expectations. It's not measured by your accomplishments, your status, or your title. Your worth is inherent. It comes from knowing who you are and owning that regardless of what anyone else thinks. You are valuable because you exist. Here's the hard truth: you don't need anyone's approval to be worthy. The moment you start looking for external validation is the moment you start losing sight of your own value. When you rely on others to make you feel good about yourself, you give them the power to define your happiness and self-esteem. And let me tell you, that's a power you should never hand over to anyone else. Not your boss, not your partner. So when the world doesn't seem to see your light, I want you to remember one thing: it doesn't mean it's not shining. Sometimes it's in the stillness, in those moments of solitude, that we realize just how bright we really are. You have to own that light. You have to believe in it even when no one else does. Your worth is yours and it's constant. It doesn't waver based on someone else's ability or inability to see it. So stop seeking validation from people who don't recognize your value. Know your worth, stand firm in it, and watch how the world around you begins to change. Sometimes stepping back is the most powerful move you can make. In our quest to feel valued, we often find ourselves overextending, showing up when we're tired, giving when we have nothing left to give, and being present for others long after we've neglected our own needs. We think, if I'm just there a little longer, if I give just a little more, they'll see my worth. But here's the thing: people don't often appreciate what's constantly available to them. Familiarity can make them blind to the gifts you bring into their lives. By stepping back, you create space for reflection, not just for others, but for yourself. It's in that space that people begin to notice what they've been overlooking. Your constant presence, your unwavering support, your energy, all the things they may have taken for granted become more visible when you're no longer offering them so freely. But this step back isn't about punishing anyone or playing mind games. It's about reclaiming your energy, your time, and your peace. You have to understand that it's not selfish to step away from people who don't appreciate your value. In fact, it's one of the most loving things you can do for yourself. When you step back, you're telling the world, I know my worth, and I don't need to be constantly present for you to see it. It's a powerful statement. And often that absence does what constant presence cannot. It reminds people that you were never an obligation, you were a blessing. This isn't about abandonment, it's about recalibration. You're giving others the chance to see who you really are, without the noise, without the constant availability, without you always filling the gaps. When you step back, you allow people the opportunity to understand your value in ways they couldn't when you were always right there. And even if they don't come to realize it, you'll have gained something far more important: a deeper understanding of yourself, your needs, and the importance of being appreciated for who you truly are. When you step back, something amazing happens. You create the space to focus on your own growth. Too often, we pour so much energy into others that we forget to nurture ourselves. We get caught up in the expectations and needs of those around us, losing sight of our own goals, dreams, and well-being. But when you step back, when you let people miss you, you reclaim that energy and redirect it towards your own development. This is your time to invest in the things that make you better, stronger, and more fulfilled. It's about reconnecting with your passions, setting boundaries, and pursuing the things that light a fire in you. When you start focusing on your own growth, you begin to realize that you are more than what others perceive. You are more than the roles you play in their lives. You are a whole person with dreams, ambitions, and potential that can only be fully realized when you stop pouring everything into everyone else. Personal growth is a journey, and it's ongoing. But here's the thing: you can't grow if you're constantly available to everyone else but unavailable to yourself. You can't evolve if your energy is always scattered, trying to meet everyone else's needs. Stepping back allows you to center yourself. It gives you the time and space to figure out what you want, what makes you happy, and how you can become the best version of yourself. And when you invest in your own growth, you start to attract the kind of people, opportunities, and situations that are aligned with that higher version of you. Focusing on your own growth isn't about leaving others behind. It's about elevating yourself so that when you do show up, you're showing up as the best version of who you are. You have more to give when you're fulfilled, more to share when you've taken the time to nurture yourself. And in that process, you may find that the people who took you for granted start to see you in a whole new light, not because you changed for them, but because you changed for yourself. Let them miss you while you grow into the person you're destined to become. As you begin to focus on yourself and step back, there's something essential you must remember: reclaim your energy. In this life, your energy is your most precious resource. It's the fuel that powers your dreams, your relationships, your work, and your entire existence. But so often we give it away too easily. We hand over our energy to people who don't appreciate it, to situations that drain us, and to thoughts that keep us small. Now is the time to reclaim that energy and invest it where it matters most, into yourself and the people and places that nourish your soul. It's easy to get caught in the cycle of trying to prove yourself to others. You give and give, hoping they'll finally see your worth. But the truth is, the people who truly value you don't need constant reminders. They don't need you to chase them or pour every ounce of your energy into winning their approval. In fact, when you stop chasing, something remarkable happens. When you reclaim your energy, you regain control over your life. You start directing your energy towards the things that serve your higher purpose and away from the people and circumstances that leave you feeling depleted. Reclaiming your energy means setting boundaries. It means saying no when you need to, even if it disappoints others. It means choosing rest when your body and mind are calling for it, instead of pushing yourself past the point of exhaustion. It's about understanding that you are not obligated to be everything to everyone. And you certainly don't have to sacrifice your well-being for anyone's validation. When you protect your energy, you become more grounded, more centered, and more aligned with your true self. And here's the beauty of it: when you stop giving away your energy to those who don't appreciate it, you start to attract those who do. The right people will meet you where you are. They'll respect your boundaries, and they'll cherish the energy you bring. So don't be afraid to pull back, to reserve your energy for the things that truly matter. Reclaim it, redirect it, and watch how your life transforms when you're no longer pouring into spaces that don't pour back into you. Let them miss the energy you once gave so freely, and let that space be filled with the power of your own self-worth. Leaving a mark is about more than just making an impression. It's about ensuring that your contributions resonate even when you're not physically present. When you think of the impact you want to have on the world, consider this: what do you want people to remember about you? What legacy do you want to create? It's easy to become so absorbed in the day-to-day hustle that we forget to intentionally leave our mark. But when you step back and let them miss you, you create an opportunity for your true contributions to be appreciated and remembered. The reality is, we often underestimate the power of our influence. Every interaction, every gesture of kindness, every moment of authenticity adds up. These are the footprints you leave behind. But if you're always in the thick of things, giving without pause, people may not fully grasp the impact you have. When you create a little distance, you allow others to reflect on the value you bring into their lives. They begin to recognize the strength of your presence and the warmth of your support. Think about it: how often do we take for granted the people who are always there? When someone is consistently present, their influence can fade into the background. But when you step away, it becomes a moment of realization for others. They start to notice what you brought to the table: the laughter, the guidance, the support. You become a memory they cherish, a lesson they learn from, and a person they long to connect with again. Leaving a mark is not about grand gestures or making headlines. It's about being authentic in your interactions, showing up with your whole heart, and being true to yourself. It's about understanding that your presence matters, that your contributions have weight, and that your absence can lead to deeper appreciation. The key is to focus on quality over quantity. Instead of spreading yourself thin, pour your energy into meaningful interactions and relationships that allow your true essence to shine. When you step back, don't underestimate the power of your legacy. Let the impact you've made echo in the hearts of those you've touched. Create a foundation of respect and admiration, and remember that the mark you leave can last long after you've stepped away. Let them miss you, and when they do, let it remind them of the incredible gift you are. In this way, you'll not only leave a mark, but also create a space for meaningful reconnection when the time is right. Welcoming the return of those who recognize your worth is a profound act of grace and wisdom. When you allow people to miss you, you create an opportunity for genuine connections to flourish. It's essential to understand that not everyone will recognize your value right away. And that's okay. Sometimes it takes stepping away for them to see the depth of what you bring to their lives. And when they do come back, you want to be ready not just to receive them, but to engage with a sense of clarity and self-assurance. When people return after realizing your worth, it's an affirmation of your value and an acknowledgement of what they once took for granted. This doesn't mean you should simply overlook the time you spent feeling unappreciated. Rather, it's a chance to redefine the relationship based on mutual respect and understanding. You have the opportunity to set new boundaries and expectations, ensuring that both parties recognize and honor each other's contributions. This is where wisdom comes into play. When people come back, it's important to approach the situation with an open heart, but also with discernment. You've grown during your time apart, and it's crucial to ensure that the dynamics have shifted in a positive direction. Engage in conversations that foster openness and honesty. Share what you've learned during your time away and invite them to do the same. It's in these discussions that you can create a stronger foundation for the relationship going forward. Also, remember that welcoming someone back doesn't mean you have to compromise your newfound sense of self-worth. It's about establishing a connection that adds value to both your lives. If someone comes back wanting to rekindle a relationship, it's an opportunity to reassess what that relationship looks like. Are they willing to meet you at a higher level of understanding? Are they prepared to invest in the connection in a way that honors your growth? When you allow others to miss you and they come back, it speaks volumes about their journey and growth as well. It shows that they've taken the time to reflect and recognize the significance of your presence. Embrace this opportunity with gratitude and wisdom. Let the reunion be a celebration of mutual respect and a chance to deepen the connection. Remember, it's not just about their return, it's also about the journey you've undertaken during your time apart. This is the moment to reinforce your boundaries, clarify your needs, and ensure that your relationship is built on a foundation of appreciation and understanding. As you embrace the power of stepping back, remember that your worth is not defined by others, but by the incredible person you are. Letting them miss you allows both you and those around you to grow and appreciate what truly matters. By reclaiming your energy, leaving a lasting mark, and welcoming the return of those who recognize your value, you create space for deeper connections. So honor yourself, trust in your journey, and understand that your absence can illuminate your significance. You are deserving of love, respect, and appreciation. Never forget that. Shine brightly and embrace the beauty of your worth.